Well, armed bandits have attacked Kutemeshi village in Briningwari local government area and the Kujeni village in Kajiru local government area of Kaduna State, killing 19 people. The bandits were reported to have left several others with bullet wounds, as well as setting several houses and a church ablaze. The death records showed 14 killed in Briningwari, 5 in Kajiru localities. According to the State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, the attackers burned several houses, storehouses with foodstuff, warehouses loaded with building materials, as well as a church.
Worried by the high rate of insecurity in the northern part of the country, Nigeria, well-respected, renowned Islamic scholar Sheikh Dr. Hamid Mahmoud Gumi visited the stronghold of the attackers in Zamfara State, accompanied by Professor Usman Yusuf, who is the former Executive Secretary, National Health Insurance Scheme, that's the NHIS, to appeal for peace. Well, joining us from our Abuja studios is Professor Usman Yusuf, who will be talking us through their visit. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, Professor Yusuf.
Thank you for having me, Adeswa.
Well, let me begin by asking you to avail us of what exactly you saw. I've been reading up on your experience. At a point, you said you were surrounded by over 600 armed bandits. Paint a picture for us. What exactly is the situation?
Good. Thank you very much for having me. So, I have known Sheikh Dr. Ahmed Gumi since medical school 45 years ago. So we have gone back a long way. And I know personally how deeply he cares for this country and how pained he is about insecurity. We all are. And we have to accept and not deny that these bandits are Fulanis, our Fulanis, not foreign Fulanis. They are our flesh and blood. Once we accept that, then we forget all the conspiracies and face the reality. What we will also not do is we will not deny them. We are not proud of what they are doing. We are ashamed of what they are doing. If you have a child who has gone astray, you don't kick him out. You pull him closer in the hope that you touch his heart. Essentially, that is the reason why Sheikh Ahmed Gumi embarked on this. He has for the past several years, been preaching in the mosque and telling our clerics not to remain in the cities, but to go into the rugas, into the villages, and preach to them what our scripture says. But he has to show by example. No government or person or group of persons asked him to do that. So he started that in Kaduna. He visited four Fulani settlements that had serious problems. And then he invited me to come to Zamfara with him. We were there from last Sunday to yesterday. And as we speak today, he's still on the road. Okay. What we saw in Zamfara was entirely different. What we saw in Zamfara was entirely different. Nobody expected what we saw. These meetings were arranged by Fulani leaders all over. The Fulani leaders, we cannot thank them enough. And the police that supported us, we cannot thank them enough. In Zamfara, we went to 2 major settlements. It had to take negotiations to get there. Gave us conditions. Don't come with security forces. Come with this many cars. Don't come, no camera, no this, no this. We went to the first one. The first time I went there, I thought we were in a police in an army installation. Armed men in military fatigues. 10 here, 15 here, 30 there, 50, some on the rocks. You have this eerie feeling you have been surrounded by armed men. We sat down. And what he does when he goes, he allows them to regurgitate all their grievances.
Professor,
he tells them why
sorry to interject at this point because I'm actually being drawn in by your narrative. But I just want to find out, just to jump forward a bit, it's clear from what you said that you believe that this is a time to draw, well, you first said accept and then draw them closer. Do you appreciate that for many Nigerians, that might be a jump too far, that people are still looking to see justice meted out, a sense of people paying for the crimes they have perpetrated before we move on? Do you appreciate that perspective, sir?
Yeah, right. So how do you do that? You kill them or you catch them, you arrest them. When we were going, we saw these bandits. They are this percentage of legal Fulani herders all across the country. Nobody. And when we go there, Sheikh Ahmed Gumi is the very first one to stand up and talk to them and say, nobody will support what they are doing. We are ashamed of them. And there is nowhere in our scripture that supports the spilling of blood, the killing of people, raping of women, arson, and whatever they've been doing. That this is not our heritage. Nobody is given any excuse for anybody, just like no Kanuri will give any excuse for what Boko Haram is doing, or no Yoruba will give any excuse for what cultists or armed robbers are doing in the Southwest, or no Igbo man will give any excuse for what IPOB and all those criminals are doing in the Southeast. What is different here is that we are stepping in peace, owning up that there's a problem. Where there is a vacuum, non-government actors fill that vacuum. And this is what you see. Prof. And there's killing everywhere. Vigilantes killing Fulanis, Fulanis killing people all over the country.
Yeah,
it is time for community leaders to stand up and take responsibility. And this is exactly what we're doing.
Fantastic. Yeah, Prof.
Go ahead.
The obvious question really will be, how come Sheikh Gumi knows where, or he knows where these people are, these bandits are, has the guts to go seek them out, yet the security agencies can't? How can you rationalize this?
Yeah, so I don't know who told you Sheikh Gumi knows where they are.
Oh, well, you said you visited
negotiation
them.
To meet them. This negotiation took weeks. Weeks. By people here and there and there, and where you meet them is not their true camp. They will tell you a place of their choosing. And you think if everybody knows where they are, the Air Force will go and bomb them and will be done with them. And they are not living in cities. They're living in small settlements all across. So it's not that anybody knows where they are. If negotiators have gone to the deep jungle of Colombia. They have gone to the creeks of the Niger Delta to meet combatants. So the second one we went, that was the most scary. The second camp we went, they gave stringent conditions. That only this many cars, only this many people. It took a lot of negotiations, not by us. We were in the car sitting. We went through gullies, dry levers, cliffs, everywhere. All of a sudden, they popped on the sides. They popped on the side on their motorcycles to lead us there. When we went to the clearing and opening, the place they chose is scary. They were armed, heavily armed, battalion-sized bandits. Battalion is 1,000. Battalion is 1,000. They were there waiting. They said they waited for hours. They formed a semicircle around us. Children as young as 13, carrying general purpose machine guns. 13, 14, 15. The camp there is called Ensha Bakwe.
Well, Professor Yusuf,
the average age was 17.
You do paint a scary picture, but I hate to interrupt you. We'll go on a quick break. I'll be back to talk some more with you. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back. You're watching Newsday here on the Rise News channel, and we still have with us from our Abuja studios Professor Usman Yusuf, who's been sharing the first-hand experience of his visit to camps of bandits in the northern part of the country. Thank you so much, Professor Yusuf, for staying with us. Before that break, you had shared with us your
Yeah,
experience
welcome.
and your perspective. But let me ask you, do you share the idea of a dialogue with non-state actors? If you do, what is the difference? What would be the likely difference this time around? You would recall that some state governors in the northern part of the country had explored that option of amnesty, dialogue with bandits, but that failed. And on the other hand, we have the Nigerian military saying dialogue with non-state actors is not an option. So how exactly is Nigeria to go about this? How do you combine dialogue on one hand and military force on the other hand?
Yeah. Anybody that tells you you do not dialogue with non-state actors, he is not a student of history. Niger Delta militants are non-state actors. IRA are non-state actors. ANC was non-state actor. ANC of South Africa. Yeah? PLO at that time was non-state actors. FARC rebels of Colombia are non-state actors. So you dialogue with combatants to have peace. And for anybody to tell you there is a military option to this is not true. There is no military solution to this conflict. None. We have seen that. Where we have been, there has not been a foot of any security force there. We're just throwing bombs. Throwing bombs to who? On whom? On herds? On cattle? No. You do all the killing, all the bombing, at the end you come and sit on the table. Now is the time to have dialogue. There is no military solution to this conflict. They are small. They are mobile. They are fearless. They are in the forest. They have no connection with people out there. We need to draw them closer. We talked with them. And to be honest, their grievances are not much. Their grievances are not anywhere what the grievances of the Niger Delta people were. And it will cost less. It will cost less than a bomb thrown to sort out a few of the problems they have. What are they looking for? So we sat there, the sheikh would usually keep quiet and let them speak up and let them talk. Well, Martin Luther King said, violence is the language of the unheard. You don't hear people, there's violence. So listening to people in any conflict is the first. There is no military solution. And there is nowhere in the world where the military alone takes care of security. No, it's the responsibility of everybody. It's not the preserve of the government or the security agency. It's ours, everybody, because it affects us. We have seen that. So dialogue is key. What they are asking for, what their grievances were, and the solutions are much cheaper than all the bombs we are throwing, or the killings, or the spilling of blood everywhere. So it's understanding them locally. And it doesn't mean what is in Zamfara is the same thing as Sokoto. We went to 3 camps in Zamfara. We met 4 traditional rulers. He met 10 Islamic clerics. He met the governor. We drove to Sokoto. He met the governor. He met the sultan. He went to another camp and met clerics. That is reaching out to people and saying we need peace. We are blood. They did not drop from the sky. The people they are killing as ours. There is nowhere in our scripture that will accept that. There is failure. There is failure and breakdown of society and breakdown of leadership. That's why you have that. We need to wake up, all of us, and be involved in this. This is much cheaper. This is more enduring than this killing we are seeing all across the country.
Okay, Professor.
There is blood spilled all across the land. I've been here saying about that severally.
Professor,
go ahead.
Yeah, as commendable as what you've...
Go ahead.
Yes, as commendable as the journey you've embarked on is, I just want to highlight the aspect I was able to screen. I think Sheikh Ahmed was, I saw an interview, he was basically on the back of this visit, proposing that ROGA, if ROGA is implemented, looking to solutions now across Nigeria, that we would have peace in no time at all. Do you see a problem with that? Because on the visual aspect, the optics, you have these armed men who are saying they just need to have hospitals, they just need to have schools provided for them across. These are people whom a lot of people distrust. Why would they give them room to coexist with them at this point in time?
Well, we've had conflicts all across this country. And that is what reconciliation is. Reconciliation is reaching out and calming things down. Because we live here, nobody is going anywhere. Nobody is leaving this country. We are all here together. And it's in our best interest to find peace. To find peace. So if you look at, we're not here to discuss historical basis for all this conflict. Historically, as Fulanis have had their pathways gazetted from Senegal to the Red Sea, where cattle pass. Over the years, all this has been taken. Climate change has devastated, there is no pasture, so they're having to travel all over. Drugs, you remember that haul of drugs they got from Edo? It's coming all the way here. It's coming all the way here. Drugs is devastating our youth all over the north. It's only a person who is high on drugs that will commit what they are doing, the heinous thing they are doing. Nobody gives them any excuse, but we must find solution. Problems are local, solutions are local. You go from place to place, the solutions are local, not from Abuja. They will sit down and tell you everything, and it's wonderful. In Zamfara, we have seen the benefit of dialogue with them. The governor was telling us when they came in 2019, all the markets in Zamfara were closed. All.
All right,
He was telling us that there were no... hello?
Yeah, Prof.
I'm listening.
You said you will be in the state for a week, meeting with all stakeholders and visiting Fulani settlements. Tell us about this plan and who the other stakeholders are.
The stakeholders are local. He met community leaders, he met the emirs, he met the clerics. Before even we went to this Rugas, the commissioner of police was there. He was very supportive. We discussed with him. And of course, we met with the governor. And this thing has to be continuous. What we found out is there is basic lack of education, not necessarily of Western education, religious education. Religious education grounds you on what is right, what is wrong. And they told us when we got there, they would not have gathered for us if it wasn't for the sheikh. They've never seen him. But they say they have no grounds, they have no fight, they have no disrespect for religious leaders. That is an opening. If there is a group of people they will listen to, this is an opening. They say they would not have gathered if it was the politicians or any government agencies. But they gathered in force and they listened. They were smoking marijuana when they started reciting the Quran. I could see them. They were dropping the marijuana and extinguishing it. We need to reach into their heart and bring them close. These are kids. For goodness sake, 13, 14, 15-year-olds doing all this. There is a window if they are able to listen. And that is the whole idea. It's just not a one-time visit. The plan is to be sending clerics, to be sending people, to be talking to them, to be bringing them, to be discussing with the government. These are the issues of this place. They need borehole. They need earth dam. They need clinics. They need school. How can you get them gainfully employed? And then speak with vigilantes. Vigilantes are killing them in towns now. See what's happening in Zuru, see what's happening in Kontagora and Shinkafi. So it's anarchy, lawlessness. People are taking the law into their hand. So the sheikh's coming is, he went to them in peace, and he is the mediator between them and everybody else in the community. We are not there to change anybody or to compete with anyone. We were there, we came to them in peace, and they appreciated that. And you could see that. You could see that. I see a window, and we need to sustain that. We need to sustain that.
Thank you so much, Professor Usman Yusuf, for the time on Newsday.